Hi everyone, hope you're well. Thanks for joining me again for a few minutes for our regular What's Better, the movie or the poster. Well, we're going back to 1999 and that's a nice poster, isn't it? I won't say lovely, I always say lovely or great or super, but a little bit of a Christmassy theme going on there as well, which is at the moment a little bit a long way away about it at the time I'm recording this, but it is a good poster. Have a merry little Christmas. They are the play on words, obviously, with the Stuart Little. And that, look, a video, VHS box. That's really great images, isn't it? A VHS box, no DVD. This is 1999. This is just before DVD sort of took off. Stuart Little would have probably been promoted as a DVD quite soon after, because obviously DVDs came out, but obviously at the time it was VHS. It was probably rental in the video shops. You couldn't buy it for a while. That was the old when the video shops were looked after by the distributors and filmmakers. That's before they started doing a little bit of the dirt job on us and started preferring the cable companies, etc. and things. But there you go, out on video and DVD. But you only get the video box because DVD's a little bit off, but not really took off by the time this came out. Anyway, Stuart Little, let's have a look at the film. Poster's okay, isn't it? I'll give you my score on that in a minute. Well, let's have a look at the film, Stuart Little. Yeah, it was a U rating back in 1999. An hour and 24 minutes, a family adventure comedy. And it's loosely based, so not identical or to the book, on the novel of the same name by E.B. White. It was directed by Rob Minkoff in his live-action debut. The screenplay was written by M. Night Shyamalan, no less, and Greg Brooker. Starred Gina Davis, Hugh Laurie, Jonathan Lipnicki, alongside the voices of Michael J. Fox, Nathan Lane, Chaz Palminteri, Steve Zahn, Bruno Kirby, and Jennifer Tilly. It received an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects nomination, but unfortunately it lost out to The Matrix. This is the first film in the Stuart Little series. It was followed by a sequel, Stuart Little 2, in 2002, 3 years later, and the short-lived television series, Stuart Little, in 2003. And there was another sequel in 2005, the direct-to-DVD, Stuart Little 3, Call of the Wild. That's another film that's just come out now, Call of the Wild. Totally different story. What's the plot? Well, in New York City, you would come across a small house. Yeah, it's a little house in the middle of all these big skyscrapers, etc. And it's home to a family known as the Littles, possibly the nicest family you'd ever meet. One day, Frederick and Eleanor, the two Mr. and Mrs. Little, go to the orphanage to find a brother for their son, George. While at it, they meet Stuart, who's a lovely little guy, telling everybody about all the kids, etc. A small but charming mouse who speaks. There you go. It was normal, though. They didn't quibble over it. It just seemed a normal thing to do. Quite normal in this world, obviously. And then, obviously, things progressed from there. Any good? Well, I mean, it was for 1999. It was a $130 million budget, which was a lot of money in those days. But it did get back $300 million at the box office. So it was a reasonable box office success. At the time, the critics, well, Rotten Tomatoes had a positive review rating of 67% of their critics based on 96 critic responses, and it gave it an average rating of 6.3 out of 10. The site's consensus read at the time, critics say Stuart Little is charming with kids and adults for its humour and visual effects. On Metacritic, the critics Metascore critics on through Internet Movie Database, the film has a 6.1 out of 10 rating and scores anywhere between as low as 3 out of 10 from one critic to 8.8 out of 10 from other critics. Internet Movie Database, surprisingly, it's only a 5.9 out of 10. So, I mean, a 6 out of 10 is probably a watchable score, as you know, if you watch my vlogs. But yeah, on Internet Movie Database, the users, Joe Public, you and me, only give it a 5.9 out of 10. We got comments like a fine kids movie, but 5 out of 10. A wonderful film, 10 out of 10. Weird but cute, 8 out of 10. A neat film for all ages, 9 out of 10. Cute movie, a Rob Minkoff's masterpiece, 8 out of 10. And disappointing, 3 out of 10. So, although obviously the negativity was in the minority, obviously there's still quite a bit of negativity towards this. Now, I've gone back. I mean, this did well in the shop. This did well in the video shop when I had my video shop in Manchester in the 90s and the 2000s. This film rented really well. It did really, and then obviously when it came out to buy a couple of years later on DVD, etc., it did well again. Stuart Little. And I've gone back and watched this, and I must admit, I'm so surprised. I'm a bit surprised by just the 5.9 rating on Internet Movie Database. Watching it on what now 21 years later from when it originally started. I must have watched it with my kids. My youngest was 14 by 1999, but obviously we would have still watched this and enjoyed this. But I say it's still got tons. I mean, it has tons of charm. I mean, it was a bit soapy, a bit soppy and soft, but I mean, the actual creatures. I mean, the actual best bits, like most of these good animated things, and actually the animals, and Michael J. Fox as Stuart and Nathan Lane as Snowball, I think it was, still steal the show and carry the move superbly. I mean, Gina Davis, obviously, Hugh Laurie are just playing minor roles really, but it's the cats actually, cats and the mice, etc., and even the sort of little guest star mice, etc., very, very good. And in my opinion, Stuart Little will stand up against anything now, 21, 22 years later. So I really enjoy watching it again. It was good entertainment, a bit sloppy and corny, but a great ending. I love the ending. I love a film that has a good ending. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to give the film a rating now. I nearly went as high as 7.5 out of 10, but I'll still give it a good solid 7 out of 10 now, Stuart Little. And I mean, obviously, it's one of those you should introduce new children to as well. Obviously, I've got grandchildren now, all aged between 4 and 11. Obviously, it's the sort of film you can happily introduce them to, and it's absolutely superb. It's out there. Obviously, you can pick it up for nothing now, can't you? It's a great film. So I'm going to give that 7 out of 10. What about the poster? That's what it is, isn't it? At the end of the day, this is a battle between the movie and the poster. I think it's quite plain poster. I'm not overly impressed. I mean, it's a nice poster for a kid's wall. If they like Stuart Little, even better. But I think the fact of putting the video box on it ruins it just a little bit for me. I didn't like that. They did it a few times with not just Stuart Little, but other films as well at the time. It just took it away a little bit for me. I would like to see perhaps with one or two of the other characters in it as well, rather than just Stuart Little. But hey, it's Stuart Little. It's his film, it's his box, it's his poster. But I'm only going to give the poster 6. So the film gets a 7 and the poster gets a 6. So today, nice surprise. It doesn't happen so often, but the film wins out over the poster. But it is a really great poster, isn't it? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And you can follow me on Twitter. Let me know on Twitter at nostalgia_movie. You can follow me on Facebook at Bernard Deneen, DINNWN, with links to Movie Game Nostalgia.com, my website for rare DVDs, board games, and posters. And this is on there if you like the poster. They're all reasonably priced, so don't go mad. I mean, some of these posters are I'm getting down to the last 1 or 2 copies now. Obviously, but excellent condition. But that's great film. But the film wins today. Have a great one. Look after yourself, look after your friends, and more importantly, look after your family. And hopefully you can come back and join for something else in the near future. Thanks for spending the last few minutes with me anyway. This is Bernard for now, saying goodbye.